Good morning. This is Pastor Jay from Messiah Lutheran Church in Yorba Linda. My devotional reading a couple days ago included Psalm 100, and I'm apparently a little slow because I've been thinking about that ever since. And it took me a while to sort of figure it out. It's short, and I'm just going to read you the whole thing. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his courts with thanksgiving and his gates with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. This has been a difficult time for the church, especially in our tradition where we define being the church in part by saying that we gather for worship. And we have not been gathering physically for worship together for a while now. I want you to know that Pastor Bob and I, together with other church leadership, are looking at when and how we can begin to gather for worship again together, and when we can maybe begin to have some other kinds of activities on site that would be a smaller gathering than a worship service. We don't have any answers yet, but we are looking at resources from states that have begun to open up more than California has, and we're prayerfully considering how we can do this in a way that allows us to gather in a way that is as safe as possible under the circumstances. We're working on that. There will be more coming sometime soon. In the meantime, I encourage you to remember that the Lord is good and his love endures forever. This is one of those Psalms which, if we translated it literally into English, would say something like, "For the Lord's everlasting love lasts forever," or "The Lord's unfailing love never fails." That sounds redundant in English, but that redundancy actually makes the point. Even when we are having difficult times, the Lord is good. I encourage you to continue to trust in the Lord in this time. And I also encourage you to find joy in the Lord and to find joy in your daily life and what's around you. I've recently discovered that on my morning walk, I have a brief window, it's maybe half a block, where I can see Mount Rubidoux in downtown Riverside. And I get joy from seeing the top of Mount Rubidoux because there's a cross on the top of that hill. And I take joy from looking at that cross for that brief few-minute portion of my walk as I'm walking back down the hill from the end of the street. So I encourage you to find joy wherever you can in your life. To know that the end of this time is coming. To know that someday we will gather again and we will celebrate and worship the Lord together. Thanks be to God.